My money's still on the husband, and not because he's white, but because this was her birthday trip. She went and got a new wig, got her lashes did, nails did, toes did, picked out outfits, and created an itinerary for her birthday. She had no idea that this man was going to propose to her in such a beautiful place like Africa. She would have been ecstatic. It's my birthday and my man is proposing to me? Hell yeah. I do not feel like anywhere in her mind it would have been, it's my birthday, my man is here, he didn't propose to me, this is a great time to just end it all.
Baby, maturing is knowing that a white man can change my life with his money, and he can take it from me with his money, and then he can go get a motherfucking lawyer with his money and get away with that shit.
Y'all, what has just come out about Ashlee Jenae and her fiancé Joe McCann is honestly chilling, and it's raising more questions than answers. What was supposed to be a dream birthday vacation quickly turned into something nobody could have imagined. Ashlee and Joe looked like the perfect couple on the surface, especially after he proposed to her during the trip, sealing what appeared to be a fairy tale moment. But now, that picture-perfect story has completely shattered. Because shortly after, Ashlee was found dead in what authorities are now describing as a tragic and highly complex case, and investigators are digging deep into what really happened behind closed doors. New reports emerging from the investigation are painting a much darker and more confusing picture of their relationship. Some claims suggest Ashlee may have been involved in escort work through social media, while other reports allege that Joe may have already been married, long before the engagement ever happened. Nothing about this case is adding up, and every new detail seems to twist the story in a different direction. What started as a romantic getaway and a surprise proposal has now turned into a disturbing mystery, with investigators trying to separate fact from speculation in a situation that is becoming more unsettling by the day.
I just spoke to the family of Ashlee Robinson. She's the 31-year-old influencer who was on vacation with her fiancé celebrating her birthday. He actually proposed on the trip. But something crazy happened. She was having a good time. Her family said she was very excited to be there, shared pictures with the family, FaceTimed them when she was proposed to. But they released a statement saying that Ashlee was found unconscious in her villa and was rushed to a local hospital where her death was confirmed hours later.
For those who don't know, Ashlee Jenae, whose real name is Ashlee Robinson, was found unresponsive in her hotel room during a trip to Zanzibar with her fiancé, Joe McCann. Ashlee was a well-known Miami-based influencer with a dedicated following of around 120,000 people. Her content mainly focused on travel, beauty, and fashion, and she had built a lifestyle brand around her online presence. But things really caught public attention when she began sharing her relationship with Joe McCann. According to reports, Ashlee and Joe started dating in 2024, but they only made their relationship public in late 2025. From that point on, their romance became a central part of her social media life. The couple was constantly traveling together, and Ashlee often posted about her soft life era, praising Joe and the lifestyle he was giving her. When Ashlee turned 31, she celebrated in a big way. She and Joe traveled to Zanzibar, Tanzania for what looked like a dream birthday safari vacation. From the outside, everything appeared perfect: sunset photos, luxury stays, and romantic moments shared online. Then, in a shocking twist, Joe proposed during the trip, and Ashlee said yes. But just hours after that engagement, everything changed. Ashlee's family was later contacted through her emergency details and informed that she had been found unconscious in their villa and rushed to a local hospital. She was later pronounced dead. Local police reported that Joe McCann was the one who discovered her and called emergency services. Authorities also stated that, based on their initial findings, there would be no further investigation, as evidence reportedly pointed toward Ashlee taking her own life. It was further reported that she used a piece of cloth from her dress. Joe was cleared, and the case was closed shortly after. Still, the sudden timeline from proposal to tragedy within hours has left many people with lingering questions and a story that doesn't sit easily with the public.
My daughter Ashlee, she's no longer here with us, and we're trying to find out why.
Chill. This is where the story really starts splitting opinions wide open. A lot of people are calling the official version complete BS, and even Ashlee's own family reportedly doesn't believe what they're being told adds up. From what's now come out, Ashlee was the one who actually paid for the entire trip and organized most of the details herself. Friends say she had been preparing for this vacation for weeks, getting her hair done, nails fresh, shopping for new outfits, and essentially curating the whole experience like a major milestone celebration. That's exactly why so many people are questioning the timeline. Because the narrative being presented suggests that after all that planning, excitement, and her recent engagement, she suddenly took her own life in a foreign country just hours after saying yes to a proposal. A close friend didn't hold back either, saying, "We need justice for my friend Ashlee Jenae, who was found dead in her hotel in Tanzania, and her fiancé Joe McCann claims she hung herself. Anyone who knows Ash knows she would never commit suicide. We need answers now." And that's where things get even more intense, because the public isn't just grieving anymore, they're demanding clarity. The contrast between the dream vacation proposal and the sudden tragedy is fueling suspicion, and people are now looking back at every detail, trying to figure out what really happened behind those hotel doors.
She was starting the next chapter of her life. She called us and FaceTimed us to share with us her travel.
Ashlee's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashlee called saying she and her fiancé got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiancé.
He told me that Ashlee did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, "What happened when?" And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury resort the couple was staying at called saying that Ashlee passed.
And for a man whose fiancée allegedly unalived herself, Joe McCann has said very little publicly about Ashlee since the incident. In fact, reports circulating online claim that he has completely wiped her from his social media, removing posts and photos that once showed their relationship, and has not issued any clear public statement about the passing of someone who was reportedly his partner and fiancé. Even more concerning to some, sources allege that Joe has cut off communication with Ashlee's family entirely, which has only intensified public speculation and frustration. But according to newer reports emerging from the investigation, there may be reasons, at least from an investigative standpoint, why Joe has stayed silent. It's being claimed that when authorities began digging into what happened, staff at the villa reported that Ashlee and Joe had a serious argument during their stay. The situation was reportedly so tense that the couple had to be moved into separate arrangements at one point. On top of that, although Joe was the one who ultimately contacted emergency services, some reports allege there was a significant delay before help was called, and questions have been raised about the timeline of those critical hours. As investigators looked further into their relationship, additional claims surfaced suggesting this wasn't the first time the couple had major conflict. Early disputes were reportedly linked to financial stress and disagreements about money.
We're not too sure what happened. That's what we're trying to find out. I got 2 emails today from the embassy in Zanzibar, and it said the investigation is still ongoing. That we have not determined the cause of death yet at all, and the investigation is still ongoing and still pending right now. So there has nothing official has been released. That's what we're trying to find out. We just want answers. We just think it's very odd that our daughter is traveling with Joe, and we don't hear anything from Joe. To me, that's very odd. And initial call that she got from Joe was 11 hours after something had transpired in the room. And that's very odd. 11 hours later,
11 hours.
Something had transpired, and Joe just relayed to Yolanda that Ashlee was okay and she was stable and she was okay and don't worry about it.
But that she was at the hospital.
Tied to Web3 ventures, including Asymmetric Financial, and has been associated with high-risk investments in the crypto space, including meme coins. However, some reports suggest the reality of his financial situation may not have fully matched that image. There are claims that parts of his business ventures faced significant downturns, with reports of heavy losses and failed deals impacting investor confidence. These claims, while widely circulated, remain part of ongoing public discussion rather than confirmed legal findings. According to some accounts, financial strain may have played a role in tensions within the relationship, with suggestions that Ashlee contributed heavily to maintaining their shared lifestyle and travel experiences. Over time, allegations have also emerged from unnamed sources describing the relationship as volatile, with claims of emotional conflict and repeated arguments behind the scenes. None of these claims have been independently confirmed in full, but together they have fueled growing public suspicion around the circumstances leading up to Ashlee's death. What initially appeared to be a romantic engagement trip has now turned into a deeply complicated and highly controversial case, with investigators, family members, and the public all searching for clarity in a story that continues to raise difficult questions. Joe McCann has also been the subject of further allegations circulating online, with claims that he has been married twice before and that both marriages ended in divorce. Some of these reports also allege there were issues of abuse in those previous relationships, though these claims have not been independently verified. It's been suggested in some online discussions that his most recent divorce reportedly happened not long before he met Ashlee, leading some people to speculate that unresolved personal and financial stress may have been carried into his new relationship. However, it's important to note that much of this remains part of public speculation rather than confirmed legal findings. Meanwhile, attention around the case has only intensified. Reports online claim that authorities in Zanzibar have taken steps such as restricting travel documents for further questioning as investigators continue to piece together the timeline. There are also unverified claims circulating about interference or corruption in local processes, but none of this has been officially substantiated. With the case gaining widespread attention, people online are closely analyzing every detail, from the timeline of events to inconsistencies in reports. At the same time, others are warning against jumping to conclusions, pointing out that many of the narratives being shared on social media are still unproven and emotionally charged. What is clear, however, is how deeply divided public opinion has become. Some believe the circumstances surrounding Ashlee's death don't fully make sense and are calling for a more thorough investigation, while others urge caution and stress the importance of waiting for confirmed facts from official sources. In the middle of all this, one point that many voices agree on is that Ashlee's death has sparked a much larger conversation about accountability, relationships, and how quickly online narratives can escalate before all the facts are known.